Hello, everybody. We are now live, bro. I'm giving it over to you for a second.
Okie dokie, smokily. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Y'all ain't gonna say hey?
What up?
Hey.
Good evening.
So tonight we have a couple of people on here, and tonight's question is basically it says, can you be pro-black and into interracial relationship or have interracial or biracial children? So on the panel tonight, we have, of course, Miss Tiffany Sunshine Bryan. She wanted to go handle something with the baby. You have my other baby, Tip. You want to introduce yourself, baby?
It's me, Tiffany, the other Tiffany. I'm just here for great conversation tonight. I think it's going to be pretty informative and interesting, as is all of our episodes. So I'm here for it.
Okay. And then we also have our other sexy, handsome co-host over here. Could you please introduce yourself, sir?
What up, everybody? You know, we here, we talking. We're gonna do we talking junk tonight.
Oh God, no. No.
Great conversations. Let me just say that. Great conversations and interesting topics. Yes.
Okay. And then we have one of my friends, and I'm telling y'all now, y'all know I always bring somebody to the table that always stirs up something every time. So my friend, Mr., would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Hey.
All right. My name is Javon. Under the stage name Just One God tonight. So I'm here to see what we're gonna be talking about. It's a very interesting topic that I got invited to the table on. So I'm ready to rock and roll and see where it go.
Okay, and then we also have our special guest tonight, who I found out last week doesn't bite his tongue, and he about like me talk plenty of shits. So if you would please, sir, introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. This is Delvon coming to you live from the studio.
We can't see you, Del.
Because I am in the middle of nowhere delivering Amazon packages. So please bear with me. I will be seen soon, and I will be articulating some great things tonight on this wonderful topic here.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are at the end of Black History Month. And so being at the end of Black History Month, and a couple of friends on Facebook of mine have been bringing this topic up more and more recently. And we're in this age where we're talking about how Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, all of that. So it's like, everybody's supposed to be so.
We can't hear you, Ro. You're going out.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, so yeah, everybody's being, aware of their culture and, taking interest in their heritage and spirituality. You're going back to our roots and stuff. So it's kind of like, why not? Let's talk about this. And the fact that we have so many interracial dating and relationships and children out here, not just saying that it has to be a black and white thing, but just in general. So we were, I came across this question in the Facebook group that I was in, and they were saying, how is it possible for you to be so pro-black, like fight the power? And
Ro, you're going out again.
oh my God, I don't know what to tell y'all.
Okay, go ahead.
But they were just saying, how can you really be pro-black but you're dating another race?
So yeah, no, because we can hardly hear you. That's all. You might have to go out and come back in because we can hardly hear you.
Well, ask the question, Tiffany. That's on the count.
I can't hear.
Okay, I'm going out. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Okay. So while we're waiting for her to come back, I thought it was interesting for us to just talk about first about what being pro-black means. And I had the question myself because my family is, I say, multiracial. So I'm very big on embracing all of my um, ethnicities, and I teach that to my kids as well. So when I'm looking at defining pro-black, so I'm gonna give y'all a couple of definitions while we're waiting for Ro to come back in. So a couple of definitions of pro-black was, let me see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Technical difficulties tonight. Okay, so it says the key characteristic of pro-blackness is that it deals with power. In fact, pro-black means not only directly dealing with power, but also building power for Black people. As such, it is perceived as a bold or daring statement that often triggers discomfort in white people. Another definition of what does it mean to be pro-black, we're going to look at the Urban Dictionary. So that was nonprofitquarterly.org. So the Urban Dictionary says that pro-black is a lifestyle that encourages the economic growth and development of the Black people as a whole, with the purpose of increasing the wealth and population of Black people around the world, whether it be spending money with Black-owned business in your communities or online. Promoting love for Black people and encouraging Black youth is its sole purposes to keep uplifting Black people in America to be proud and at the same time being proud of being Black. So those were just a couple of definitions about being pro-Black. So I felt I needed that to be able to talk about this because I'm not necessarily, I believe in, you know, being proud of your heritage and all of that, but I'm not sure if I can say that I am, because I believe all races are important to empower. Um, so that's that. How do y'all feel about that definition? What do y'all think?
I'm glad you did that because I was just getting before the phone cut out. I was gonna tell you, yeah.
Okay.
So, but everybody expected me to be the controversial one and say that yeah, I'm pro-black and this and that and the other. But based on the definitions that you just gave, it's more so sorry y'all. It's more so saying like you make your own definition of what it is that you call pro. But that's not the case. Because it's kind of like being pro-abortion, anti-abortion. You can't say, yes, I'm going to save half of the child, but I ain't going to save the other half. You know, I just want the part that has the face. We're not going to worry about the body.
Mm.
But then on the other hand, it's like when it comes to like race, you love the fact that there are beautiful children and families that are built off of interracial relationships. And you can't help who you love at the end of the day. Like some people 20 years ago, they accepted it and was like, they did it because that's somebody they fell in love with. Whereas now they're more aware of themselves and their culture and things of that nature. So it's like, I can't help who I love. I'm with them. But I'm still at the same time growing and learning who I am as an individual. And when you purposely date outside your race, that's what I have a problem with. And I say that at that point, you no longer become purposely dating for the points of community, family, that it's just like, I want beautiful children. Not saying you can't have beautiful children with any other race, but there's people out here who like, yeah, I want to date a Black man or a white woman just because they give off a certain feature with children. There's also the circumstances of where you grew up at. Like if you're say all Black female and you grew up in an all white neighborhood, most likely you're going to date people who are in your area. So which means you're going to probably go towards a white man as opposed to a black man because you're literally being grown up in that environment. So it's a lot of components to it. But
Mhm.
when it comes to your generation and passing down your roots and things of that, your genetics, it is totally anti-black to have interracial children because you're killing off your race.
Mm. Mm. Can we put the question out there for those that are watching? What does it mean to be pro-black to you? Because there are a couple of definitions. So for those that are watching, put it in the comments. What does it mean to be pro-black to you? Um, and I think it's probably important for us to ask our panel too. Like, what does it mean to be pro-black? And is it offensive? Me, honestly, when I think of pro-black, I just think of someone who is very proud of being an African American or their black culture and doing everything in their power to keep the black culture and African American culture, alive and thriving and all about. And most, to me, when I think pro-black, I don't think of a person that's going to date outside of their race, because to me that'd be kind of contradictory to being pro-black. But that doesn't mean that they're not, it doesn't mean that they have an issue with being black. But to me, a person can't be pro-black and all about the black culture, so forth and so on, but then they go and date someone that's not black. But that's just me, and maybe that's me being ignorant to what it means. I mean, we saw back with the was it Black Panthers, where there was white people that were in the movement, and where the black men who were leaders, they were actually involved with white women that were in the movement. So is it, I mean, I guess it's by perspective. So I don't know. What about you? What about you, Just One, or Chris or Tiffany? What is y'all's definition of pro-black? And
My
y'all see
definition of my definition of pro-black is you black with everything, all black everything. That's what supporting black businesses, relationship, black. Um, what else? You go. Everything is black. Anything that you dabble in, it reflects the African diaspora or African American culture. Um, whether it's diving into finances, diving into business, whether it's diving into uh, cultural references.
Mhm. Okay. What about you, Just One? I see you smiling. You smiling.
Yeah, well, I'll just come in first of all, just like and kind of piggyback off what you were saying earlier, as far as it being subjective, as well as what Ro was saying, how it depends on if you grew up in that neighborhood or that type of community, and that's the only thing available. Then how can we say that that's a fault for that person, but then at the same time they like leading and motivating or inspiring majority of the community. So it's a touch and go thing when it comes to that. When it comes to being African American, when it comes to being black, pro-black, any of the things of sorts. It's all those things are very subjective depending on what region or what family class you come from or whatever in our black community. Me, of course, I just choose to use the word black. But however, that's even under investigation because we only doing that to identify ourselves as something collectively, which that became the common denominator for us to express ourselves in that format. That's what we call ourselves, which it took fire and is going across the globe now. You know, but as far as being pro-black, it's like right now, a lot of people are into this new wokeness, and that's the dangerous side of thing because it's so catchy and it's so trendy right now that it really is like it kind of over it put a damper on people like say like an Eldridge Cleaver who was married to a white woman, but you know, did great things for the black community, being a Black Panther.
Mm.
So it kind of damper those people's efforts that have done that before. So can we say he's not pro-black, when he's done way more work than, majority of us all put together? You know what I mean? Being frontline, like, in that particular instance. So when I say, it's just all really subjective, I look at it like that. But being pro-black or just conscious these days, it kind of go back to the same things that we already were experiencing and knowing if we just a little older anyway. So a lot of us was already knowing these things. It's just kind of, like I said, trendy and popular now. So
Being pro black, bro, is even in that pro blackness, it has to be unequivocally black. So, I mean, yes, you can be doing things for the culture. Yes, you can be pushing the culture forward. But at the same time, if you are laid up with the person that you are, you know, talking about and having so much discourse about within the culture, doesn't that kind of contradict your efforts?
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. It's like you
yeah, I
being
definitely
pro
agree
black.
as well.
Yeah. Like you can be you're black because at the end of the day, that's something that you cannot change. So you for the culture, you can push the envelope forward or push the narrative forward as far as being a black person because that is the people that you represent. Well, let me rephrase that. Some black people don't want to represent that, but people who are black, who want to be black and who wants to stay black, they push the culture forward. But also too in the same breath, you got some black people who have been very influential as far as in the culture, but they go home to a white spouse. Um, prime example. I mean, she even though she doesn't claim that she's black sometimes, but she'll say it on and off. But Kamala Harris.
Mm.
Dang, Chris, we was on the same wavelength, bro. Because I was just gonna say that.
I mean, let's
Yeah.
be real.
Yeah. I was gonna bring her up too. Because it's not too often that she says that she's black.
Yeah,
Not
it's definitely a convenience.
And she used it as a political point to get votes. Like it's soon, and I kept telling people, y'all need to pay attention because this here it is. It's a black woman up here, and everybody, oh, she a sister and she a AKA and all of this and that and the other. But then you didn't know she went home to a white man until you started doing some digging because she never really brought him up until she
mm-hmm,
had to bring him up.
mm-hmm.
And
Right.
we ain't seen the hell for since. I mean, she been here in Charlotte like two times, but after that political, we ain't seen the sense. So it's like, really, you
Exactly.
got bamboozled.
I was about to
People
say,
want to be
you
black
don't
when
see
it's
too
time to
much
be
about
black.
her like you see all the other vice presidents.
She stayed in
Uh,
Charlotte, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she was here about 2 weeks ago.
wow. Yeah, you don't hear too much about Miss Kamala at all. Like the other vice presidents, you see them on everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like that saying, you want to be black until it's time to be black.
That's
yeah,
what it
Every,
boils down to. You can't be black when it's convenient.
exactly.
So yeah, it's a convenience thing, subjective. But I mean, to get back to the topic at hand, though, like I think we need to clarify. Like, are we saying like, interracial relationships? Then people can't be woke. Just to bring it back to the audience that's listening, they can't be conscious or they can't lead the community. Is what we're saying, correct?
well,
I
Ultimately,
don't
that's
think
what we're
so.
saying.
I mean,
not
that's just my
necessarily.
opinion.
I don't think that's the question. I think the question is if you're saying that you're pro black, is all black everything, which when I think of the Black Lives Matter movement, because I got slammed for this because I was like, I'm an all lives matter person, and I'm not ever going to change that. I'm not going to change that no matter what, because that's just how I was raised. I was in a multicultural environment. I grew up around white, black, Spanish, everything. So I'm about everybody. So you're saying that Black Lives Matter and that you're pro black based on what I'm hearing and then what I'm reading and definitions is you all about the black culture. but you're dating a white woman, or you're dating a Spanish woman, or you're dating a French woman, or you're dating a white guy, or you're dating a, you know what I mean? So I I don't know. And I don't want to exclude, I don't want to exclude Tiffany. So I don't want to do that. So I want to make sure that she is part of this conversation, because we have these kind of conversations on here, and it might be controversial for me. It might be controversial for Chris. It might be controversial for Tiffany. So this is one of those topics where it might be a little uncomfortable, but Tiffany is very straightforward. So I want to make sure that she is able to give her side of it, of like, what does pro-black mean to you? And how do you, is it offensive to you when this type of question is asked? I think it's
No,
important for you.
it's
Yeah.
not offensive to me. My it's hard for me to speak on it because I'm not black. However, I love and I support Black Lives Matter. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a very cultured and very diverse environment. Since moving from up north down south, it's been a stark cultural shock for me. But as far as my definition, I would say it's the love for one's culture, heritage, and upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And note that Tiffany is in a relationship with an African American or black man. So I think that's important that she has that perspective. I've dated white men. I think, Ro, you've said that you have not dated white men before, correct?
I've dated outside my race before.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Del? What about you, Chris? What about you, Just One? Have you dated outside your race?
Myself, yes, I actually have two sons that are mixed, and we was talking about this earlier off camera. Me and my friends, we was talking about this, and we were just saying basically like how, because my sons are quote unquote Hispanic and black, but then they bring it back to the same topic that I'm talking about earlier, because then if you really get technical with it, then we all coming from different mixed cultures or whatever. Just like myself, like I say, I adopt to calling myself black. I don't really deal with African American term too much, and never really have. But I mean, I get it, I understand it fully. But however, when it comes down to my true essence and my culture of what I've learned and understanding from family, doing research at the Library of Congress, family doing just all the extensive due diligence to find out who we are. The more I find out, we Cherokee, we Choctaw, and we Seminole. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, I'm from Virginia myself. You know what I mean? Where like the heartland of a lot of these historical activities and cultures and stuff like that. I'm right there from the seven cities. So, but the thing is, it's just like I said, just like it breaks back down to the definition of what's really black or what's African American. But my sons are native Hispanic mix. So, me and their mother did have our short stint. That was the first time for me dating outside of the race. But it's a true factor. So as well as I have two daughters that would be considered mixed as well, because their mother is West Indian. So, and that's funny because I just left from eating dinner with them earlier, and I was telling them about me possibly being on the podcast, and I mentioned that to them about their brothers being mixed. They just laughed right off the gate. Were like, what? Like, well, all your kids mixed in. That was their immediate response. Like, like, so, but it is what it is. So, it's all in perspective and subjective to that.
Right, right. Del, have you ever dated outside your race?
Yes. I have.
I've definitely did it outside of my race, and it was pretty good actually. I'm the type of person where I just, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Not adventurous, but I like giving chances. I'm all about the person's heart. You know, go. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, a person's going to be a person. So whether that person is good for you, whether that person is bad for you, whether that person sees your political views, whether that person sees your religious views, or this, that, and the third, or whatever. If that person is good for you, then um, it is what it is. I'm the type of person that feel like you can definitely be pro-black and date outside your race, because just because you love that person doesn't mean that you can't root for everybody black. Um, and how about this? How about if that person is pro-black and they just happen to be not black? You know what I'm saying? Like that does happen. There are people who are well read, well spoken, well articulated, and no more issues about your own race than you do. So they're for the cause, and it just so happens that Well, how about this? There was a person who can be on the front lines day in, day out, and they still go home to who they love, because we're in an era now where love is love, right? So
Right.
that person can be pro-black and date outside their race, and that person can be pro-black too.
Okay. We have artist Dapper Don on with us. We can't see your face. We can't see your face. Do you have? What does pro-black mean to you? And have you ever dated outside your race?
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier when I kind of interjected and told gentlemen, I kind of feel it's contradictory. You're doing the work, you're doing all these things, and yet and still you're screaming pro black, but you're laying up with the very person that you're kind of speaking out against, or speaking up on. So that's kind of contradictory. Sorry, I was out doing some shit. I'm running around. Got a lot of shit this week. But yeah, so pro-black to me does means it's unequivocally black. It means I am embracing my full blackness. I'm loving a black woman. I'm having black babies. I am all about my community. Have I ever dated outside my race? I don't know if Spanish counts, because that's kind of close to us. We're both minorities, black and brown. But as far as dating a white woman, no, I have not. Now, I will not sit up here in front like I never slept with a white woman. And now,
uh,
college, shit happens
That's
in
a
college,
whole
nigga.
nother subject. That's a whole
I,
nother
Right.
I was
subject.
saying,
Shit
I was
happens in
saying that,
college.
I was saying that same thing earlier, because it's just like, I'm a travel man, and been through a lot of
Exactly.
the states in the United States, and the closer I get outside of like some of the eastern region, I find out that, like, the Hispanics or natives, they looking different. I mean, I done ran up in California. I done ran up to so many Hispanics thinking they were black people, and then they get up there, speaking
Exactly.
Spanish or whatever, and you really still don't know. You still standing there looking like, oh, you ain't black. Like, you still questioning it. So,
I
but the
mean,
thing
not
is,
not
Yes,
even
because
trying to be.
there are black people in Spain and in France and in other places. So it's like just like the Amara Negra from Love and Hip Hop Miami. She's fully Spanish, but she's black. And they
yeah,
go through the same racial tension as us people in America go through. So black is everywhere, just like white is
So
everywhere. Black is everywhere.
how do we describe white that has black features? Because like what my bro said, he's a traveled man. Especially doing this music shit, you travel everywhere. You travel across the country, out of the country, and I have definitely come across some Caucasian ladies with voluptuous asses.
Hey, Tiffany.
I would like to know what do we describe them as, because we're not really talking about the white women with who are assly challenged. so to speak, and it's
No, you get what?
it's looking like a cutting board. It's not really looking ass. So we're discussing. We're trying to we're alienating those kind.
But
We're
at the
talking
end, they're
about
still white.
They're
They're still
white,
white.
yeah.
yeah, but then again, like you know, as I said, this is college, but still, like you know, you think they're not white, or they think they're white, but then like that should be throwing back like it ain't. So you know, goddamn.
I mean, that's just that they got great experience, but that still doesn't negate that their skin is white.
This is why
I
I'm not
mean,
an activist, bro. I'm not an activist.
sex is
I'm not
sex.
at the
Anybody can
forefront of the
have
movement.
sex out here. It's just if they throwing it back good, they got incredible experience from I don't know somewhere else. But that doesn't negate the fact that the skin that they're in is white.
They're still white. They're still
Especially
white.
in like Arizona and shit. Like I don't know what's in the water out there and the cactuses and shit, but yeah, the white women be having asses out there. I don't know, man.
Well, I said that when I moved down here. The white women up in DC, they don't look like the white women down here in the South. Like these white women down here,
Blame it
they
on the beans and
real
That's
thick.
that cornbread and molasses. They trying to sneak in.
beans and cornbread.
Farm raised. So,
Them, them,
bro, bring it back, because this is your topic. What are some of the things that people have said about this subject for you to want to bring this to the table? Give it back to bro.
Um, a lot of it more so like genocide. You killing your own race because you don't keep the bread. Like literally, one of my white friends, and this may sound racist as fuck, but I love the way we have communication with each other because you learn a lot from there. Irregardless of how I feel at the end of the day, I walk away knowing something. But he said that's why y'all think it's so wrong about the KKK and all of these white supremacists wanting to stay inside their race and don't want to do this. But they understand the fact of how tight knit your race has to be, like in order to survive. Like we can say we're this culture, we're that culture, or whatever, but at the end of the day, if we all keep sleeping outside of our race, when is the pure race is going to be here? When are we going to actually have people who are still considered, the Bentaypui people or the, like the people, the Aborigines people over in Australia, like those types of genetics are going to eventually die out because everybody's sexing out. And so it's like you're killing your race. Then you had and I said I get it. Like in that aspect, I get it. Like all day why you would want to, or why a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Asian families, they don't date outside their race. It's disrespectful to bring another culture home. So I get it because you want your people, your tribes, your people strong. But once again, you can't help who you fall in love with, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can see this chick or this dude, the ugliest thing in the world 3 months ago, but now you've been spending time with them. You're in their environment, they're in yours. You're learning and introducing things to each other. 9 days later, it's like, dang, Stefano don't look as ugly as he did the first day I met him.
Stefano, really?
Yeah, 'cause I'm determined that I'm Hispanic somewhere down the line. So yeah, in my culture, his name
Stefano.
is Stefano.
Stefano Creel.
He could be Italian or he could be Italian or Hispanic. So yeah.
Okay, all right. So are we agreeing that pro-black means black everything? Are we agreeing on that?
all black everything.
All black everything.
Everything.
That's an
Okay.
all agreement.
Okay, so it sounds like we're all saying that. So now to the question: can you be pro-black and date outside your race?
I
Yes.
like boy and what's his name, Malcolm X movie when they
Nope,
said
nope, nope.
the girl said, she said, I want to help. He said, okay, you can help, but that don't make you, you know what I'm saying, us, that don't make you or
Yeah.
whatever. It
It's
means that you support the vision that we have as a people and you're gonna do that. But like real talk, we gotta help ourselves before we start asking other races or allowing other races in here to do it for us.
Mm.
yep. Yeah, I totally agree with you, bro. And to your question, Tiff, I to me it's counterproductive. It's like if I'm not mistaken, if my history book serves me well, it's just like black people who've done great things for black culture but they stayed outside their race, i.e., some, not most, well, some NBA players, also some tennis players. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Frederick Douglass had a white woman too, if I'm not mistaken. So, and all of these people who've done great things for the culture, they have dated outside of their race. But will they consider being pro-black? Not so much. Only because their counterpart. When you're pro-black, you're pro-black, meaning your queen next to you is black too, as well. That's just my take on it. Now, to your point, Ro, who you love is who you love. Date who you want to date, love who you want to love. But if you're trying to be pro-black in all aspects, not just for the culture.
Okay.
And then
Berry loved him a white woman. He kept him a white woman. Chuck Berry, he kept him a white woman.
Exactly.
In a pork chop sandwich. No, just
Godfather Rock Roll, yeah. And then to your point, I mean, people who want to help out with the culture, they can help out with the culture, but sometimes helping out with the culture can look sideways too, i.e. Rachel Dolezal.
She is not helping nobody's culture playing with her coochie on OnlyFans, sir.
Wait. Who we talking about? I missed the name. Who is it?
That Rachel Dolezal chick that swear she was black or transgender, whatever the hell.
Everybody thought she was black and
culture.
she was a part of the NAACP.
I don't know how she even got that job, brother. She is not all black or black.
Nobody did a background check.
Playing with her Caucasian coochie on live.
That's how she got the job, bro.
Now, right?
What do you call Caucasian? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How do you determine Caucasian poom poom from?
Because if it is Aryan coochie, it is Caucasian.
But can you really tell the difference? Like if I had a picture of Tiffany's poom
look
poom,
at that woman,
my poom poom,
she black,
and Bro P's poom poom, are you gonna be able to tell which one is white or black?
I sure can, because
yeah,
black
you
women
should be able to.
got
You
a
should
certain
definitely
rhythm
be able
to it
to
and a certain
determine.
look.
Can you really?
Yeah, it's a distinct determination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deep tonight.
Okay, Tiffany, send me a picture of your poom poom. I'm about to put you
right. Whoa. I knew it was coming.
Rose, send me a picture of your poom poom. We about to put them side by side.
What is happening right now? God.
We're gonna have Tiffany, then mine, then Rose, and I want y'all to say which one is white, which one's black.
It's gonna look like Neapolitan ice cream.
And we're gonna make we're gonna make it black and white.
If that should look like custard, it is white coochie.
Wait, say that again.
If that shit look like custard, it is white coochie.
Oh my gosh.
Custard.
Not custard.
I will go out on a limb and probably say I've never seen a pretty ass white coochie.
Oh my gosh. What is happening right now?
Black women, on the other hand, that shit is beautiful.
Being that I have dated white women, I have seen some pretty white poom pooms. So I'm gonna come in. I'm stepping in.
So we really changed.
I done seen some white poom pooms that are pretty nice. Tiffany, why is your face red?
I'm just like, oh God.
Why is your face red, Tiffany?
Because it's taking me to white penis. I can't do it.
She's blushing. She's blushing.
I can't do it.
Wow.
Oh,
Tiffany
God.
says she can't do white peen peen.
I don't do the pink
No,
never have.
Last night at the casino,
What is happening right now?
Right, that's what I just
like
said.
white women coochie like doggy treats.
I'm gonna need you to stop talking. Oh, hold on.
With that,
right
with
now.
that being said, we've got artist Dapper Don with us, and we're gonna play a song real quick. No fuck.
Wait.
I bet you not about white coochie.
We here to live life. Just wanna have fun while I'm doing it, you know. Trying to get to the top. You trying to live out here, man. What you trying to do? Let's get it. Hey, it ain't no fun no fun. Yeah, it ain't no fun. Go up, yo. I'm after the bag and try and live it up. Need them dark tints, whips kitted up. No small change, I'm on the bigger bucks. This is fate, not luck, and I don't give a fuck. A middle finger up to the haters. Bringing daily news, yeah, I'm all about the paper. Drop 200 and the niggas still stunting. Call me Big Slim, the big clip filled with something. Listen, baby girl, come get a little pimpin'. Hang your life right, cause your baby dad slipping. All them G's dance, they could walk with the scripting. And the ice to them dripping, got me feeling really different. You can't spin the block, bitch, the street closed. And got a new bad thing with Pete toes. And I ain't all the mic, but I keep hoes. And you can be the next one, throw away the rose. If a nigga can't have none, it ain't no fun. It ain't no fun. It ain't no fun. If a nigga can't have none, it ain't no fun. It ain't no fun. Let's work. Let's go.
Yes, that's Dapper Don, Dapper Don, Dapper Don. That came right on time.
Yes,
Right on time. We had to break
no
that up a little
fun.
bit. We had to break that up a little bit.
No fun. And it said no white coochie.
No. We was trying
No
to get away.
white coochie. Niggas don't want none.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We have a lot of interracial dating going on right now. A whole lot of interracial dating
I
going on.
stand on that, sunshine. I have yet to see a beautiful white vag.
Well, I'm sorry, but all women, no matter what their race, they have to. They can't be all white women don't have good.
I don't know.
Can't say all white women. So let's talk about the kids, because Ro was saying that when you're pro-black and you date outside your race, that you're really taking away from your culture, and that if racists keep dating outside their culture, then at some point, like, you're not giving back to your culture by having children outside your culture, right? So when you say you're pro-black and you date interracially, how are you raising your children at that point? Can a person that's dating interracially, marrying interracially, have children interracially? Can they raise pro-black children? Can they raise children that are proud of their Black heritage? I'm kind of taking it a step further. Can they raise proud Black children? Because it still is that 1% Black, you Black. That's still a rule. So can interracial couples raise proud Black children?
Yes, they can. They can. I'm not going to say that they can't, because they can. You have a lot of people that have dated interracially, but still raise their child in a cultural manner. What's an example I can use? Well, I guess we can use this as an example. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people do know that J. Cole, he's interracial, and he's done a lot for the culture, and he's continued to be out in the streets and represent for the culture. So, and he comes from a white mother, Black father. So, I feel that he was raised right. Of course, I mean that is a thing.
Okay. What about you? Sorry. What about you? Your name is not on my screen no more. I can't see your name. Rose Guess.
Okay.
Tell me your name. I can't see your screen name. I'm sorry. My screen is acting up. What are we calling you?
You just call me Just One God. Just now call me Javon, whatever y'all like. Just call me when you're ready for me to talk. I'm gonna step up and talk.
Okay, Just One God. I'm sorry. I don't have my names in front of me, so I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. But no, what I think is though, like to be honest, it's like at this point in time, I mean, we on paper and as far as being pro-black right now because that's been a topic on the table for like the last 5 years. But um, it come along basically with the hand in hand with the woke movement and stuff like that too. So now that question is on the table. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like we too far gone because then we got to question ourselves. Like we so mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like some of us from 5 generations before, four generations removed from mixed. And I mean, just because we got the darker skin tone or whatever the case these days, that don't mean that we're not already, you know, pre-exposed to that. So, when it comes to just being pro-black, it really, as far as the kids, I feel like, you like the brother said earlier, it's easier for the actions of pro-blackness to be displayed versus us just saying like on black and white or ideally on paper, like everything black, all black, or everything or whatever. Yeah, that's great, but at the end of the day, it's already murky. We a mixed breed ourselves already. So like, how do we explore that or really define that? Because at the end of the day, is it like skin tone? Is it if you got the darker the berry, the blacker the juice? Is it you're more black, or more qualified to be pro-black because you got melanin popping versus the light skinned brother. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like it's murky already, and we really got to be clear on the definitions of those things.
Yeah, I agree
So
with you. I agree with you. That's a good point. Like, what qualifies you as being able to say that you pro-black? That's a good question. That's yeah.
I've been at this, like I said, I'm gonna date myself and just say that long before the health conscious movement came, I was not eating beef, not eating pork, no religious factors, just strictly health factors only. Because I saw what it was doing to our cultures early days. So I haven't ate beef or pork in over like 25 plus years. I just rounded down to that. So also, the same thing with me being conscious and woke, in a sense, that that's what the new terminology is. I've been always, since like a teenager, I just gravitated to like at that point in time, studying religion. That's the first thing that a lot of people challenging and studying or whatever, just like Christianity versus some of the other outside factors that we come to explore later on. And like, man, that's common knowledge. But it's just like that's where I started at. So I've been doing that 25 plus years. So to see this new movement of woke, and it kind of like took off. What's your boy name? Childish Gambino, when he did that song. And then like after that, then it was like a whole woke movement. And oh, you ain't black enough. Or you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't bliggity bliggity black, y'all. Cause I'm black, y'all. Cause like you ain't, you know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. Like we all been like in that case, then we all almost disqualified for what the terminology of pro-black is. Because if you black as ever and want to spend your money with all black business, but you in an all white Iowa environment, guess where you spending your money to eat at? If
Right.
you in Utah, you in Provo, Utah. Am I saying that right? I hope I am, but whatever. But at the end of the day, if you in these environments, not only are you going to date these women because that's what's available, or men, you're also going to spend money with them in that community. So that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to say. Like when we look at it on a clear, concise definition, that's where we have to really define like what is pro-black. And we have said that earlier. Black money, spending our dollars in the community, making sure you have black offspring. And to be practically honest, outside of how I explained with me having mixed kids earlier, that's how my whole entire life has been. So do that disqualify me as now I can't talk to the community? I can't do for the community. I can't raise my sons and daughters to be productive black citizens or whatever in the future. So we was talking about that earlier, and I just don't feel like it disqualified me because more so the wisdom and the knowledge that I have attained over the years make me more than qualified to be a asset to the community.
Yeah,
So
I remember I went to Martin Luther King parade in Washington D.C. I was maybe 19, 20 years old, and I had a guy, he was a Muslim, walked up to me and I think I asked him for one of their magazines or something that they were handing out. And he told me that I was not black because of this color of my skin. And I was offended because my father was the same complexion as him. My father was brown skin, probably the same complexion as Dell and Roe. And my mom is very, very fair skin with light eye, green eyes, so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, I still consider myself to be black, even though I might be the one. If there's mixed race on a forum, I might do it. That's just me. I might. But
But
my thing is, you can't. But that's a good point. Like, just because I'm light skinned, does that make me any less black than maybe Roe or Dell or me and Chris being light skinned? Does that make us any less black because of the color of our skin? So then you have to talk about colorism and the racism right in our own culture.
yeah, it's a color. To your point, Tiffany, it's coloristic. Let me be real. Y'all probably about to shun the heck out of me when I say this. Black people are quick to take the black card from a black person. There I said it. There I said it.
You should
They
do
had
it.
a whole game show about taking away your black card. So colorism does play an effect in that. Um, and also too, if you're putting it in terms of the mid-Atlantic slave trade, we had a couple of kizzies, meaning Chicken George, meaning our ancestors probably got raped by the other people as well. So we might have white in our family. We just don't know it. Ancestry.com sometimes may help with that, but I'm not promoting that. But I do agree. Then you have to open up the whole can of worms of colorism and all of that because you got people who just don't like to be black because of uh what society tells them what black is, as opposed to like what true blackness is. I remember
I was about to say Tiffany Haddish. Sorry to break your thought.
oh no
I'm
no
not
no
Tiffany Haddish, but what's her name from Clueless?
oh Stacey Dash. Stacey
Stacey
Dash.
Dash. Yeah, Stacey Dash. Just to accentuate your point.
I mean, you got, and then also too, what's my guy? Sammy Sosa, dark skinned brother, bleached his skin. Then you got Michael Jackson. I remember I was listening to a documentary that his daddy used to talk about him having the most biggest nose ever, and then see how that transpired, and it's kind of sad because it's like we have one group of people that love being black, but then you have another group of people that are ashamed of being black and will try every and anything to be something that they're not, and then one of those cases will date outside their race too as well. So you
And
got
see that's my point. I would like to say, like, to me, pro black, if you really want to, add to the definition that we all agreed that, is black everything, but all black everything, but you know, it's really like you have to have a love for your culture. You can't just be doing this just because it's a duty, it's due diligence. Like, then it's just routine and it's mundane. There's no real growth, or you know what I'm saying? So
right.
at the end of the day, you said the key word right there, my man. You was like, it's the love. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's the love and the passion you got to be moving on for the culture. And that's what really defines somebody that's pro-black to me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's willing to die, do half the things that some, like, half of us, we get activated when, myself included, when it's hype time, some put in front of our face. We seen that in the last 5-10 years with all these, you know, uh, marches and different things that we've been involved with. I'm trying to be careful of the words because I know we live, just all
There's
the
no
different
filter
marches and
here.
stuff.
Say what you want to
Huh?
say. There's no
Say what
Okay,
you
filter
yeah, yeah.
here. Say what you want to
say what you
say.
need to
Got
mark.
you. Well, I'm just saying with all the riots and stuff like that, because what we found out in the long run, after year 7 of rioting, and it was kind of pointless. We making noise, but we're not really seeing no changes, or circumstantial cultural changes, and then after that we going right back to the same things. So when you get back to the point of like the passion and the love that you got to have for the culture, then that's really the determining factor of the people. Because even some of these great people that we named, Frederick Douglass included, how can we deny this man from being for the love of the culture? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
We have somebody that
regardless of
commented.
whatever our modern definitions and determinations are right now, what he
Right.
went through at that current time, and we put it into context, how can we say he wasn't for?
Yeah, we never say that they wasn't for the culture, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're pro-black. Um, if you're gonna, what I'm saying is being pro-black is mean in all aspects of the word being pro. You can do incredible things for the culture. I feel like I'm being a Dr. Umar right now, and I don't like it. Um, you can do all things for the culture, but still, if you're dating outside of your race, it's like kind of contradicting and counterproductive of what you're doing because it's
It's
like
hypocritical. It's
I
exactly.
was about to say it's a little hypocritical when there's everything pro-black, 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 but then you got a white woman at home. And again, not saying there's
Love who
anything
you
wrong
love.
with it.
Yeah,
Nothing is wrong with it. So I want to make sure we put that out there that it's not
yeah, nothing is wrong with it.
the private room. We're not saying there's anything wrong with interracial dating. We're not saying that. But what we're
so
saying is that how can you say pro-black, 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 but then you got a white woman at home, French woman at home, Spanish woman at home, non-black person at home?
It's just like they
so
got
so if that's the case, then so basically, as far as leadership, what we're saying, then those people are technically disqualified.
I don't think you
not
can
as
say that
far
they're
as leadership.
pro-black. They
No,
can be for the culture, like you said.
they
I
can
think,
be for the culture. They can
but you can't
absolutely be.
say that they're
Yeah,
pro-black. Can
yeah.
you? That's
So
the whole question tonight.
that
Can you?
that is the question, right?
But
That's the question.
if you
So
want to be
no,
in that,
I agree with y'all. I definitely, I'm just playing devil advocate on that
Yeah.
point. But I mean,
if
you
you
know what
want
I'm
to be
saying?
in
Just try
that,
to just get a
yeah,
different perspective from it. But I definitely agree with y'all because you can't lead the culture because for the same debate that we having tonight, because it's going to tear us into a divide, and
color is
some going to
blue.
agree with it, and majority not. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
We
saying? So we want to see that strong
Black
black
unity
unity and
and
a
strong
strong
black
black
family.
family
I
As
can
as for those
police.
leadership purposes.
I can say you can educate me, but as far as leading me, it's kind of like I'm not a biblical person, but you know how they say, how can one, how can you serve two masters?
Mm.
It's like when it's convenient for you, it's convenient for you. But when it's not convenient for you, it's not convenient for you. So you have to stand. It's not saying that you have to like make a direct choice. It's your choice to live it how you want to. But don't tell me that I gotta be this certain way when you're not living it yourself.
Mm.
Educate me, inform me, and let me make my own decision from that point on. But as far as following behind, you can't even lead your own house. So how you gonna lead me?
Let's go, Ro. Let's go, Ro.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get it.
So, Ro, when you were having these conversations, because we talked about this a couple months
Well
ago,
said.
when you were having these conversations, what was like the extreme one to another? Did you have like, no, pro-black, that's it, you can't date interracially? Did you have like a variation of opinions?
My friend Akeem, he is like that dude, in every black movie where you always got this woke friend that be trying to tell everybody. You remember when he was like, "Move out the way, that's my beautiful queen right there," and behind was standing a white woman. So Akeem is one of them type dudes. He
Okay.
got went to jail and got educated, and everything is pro black, blackity black on black on black.
Everything black, black
So
on black on black on black.
with him, like I say, he's that dude that I'm pro this, pro that, and then it don't matter what the chick is. If he see a fat ass, he like, "Hey, yo, mommy, what's up?" At
Whether
the end of the day, that's just how he is.
so, even if she's white and she got a fat ass, he's still gonna holler, even
Yeah,
though
cause
he's
he said
pro-black.
she gonna get up at the end of the day, and I'm just doing to them what they been doing to me for.
Well, I was thinking that, Ro. Man, you are definitely on the same wavelength.
Okay. Del,
Yeah, Akeem is crazy.
That's how them dudes be thinking too. That's what I mean. At the end of the day, they feel like you got half the people thinking like, all right, well, if I impregnate her, then I'm extending the black race. You know what I'm saying? That's how they think about it.
But
So,
he don't eat
you
no
know,
pork, no none of that. It's crazy. And he date white women on purpose. Okay.
Yeah, that's another subject. I've heard black men who said that they date white women specifically for that reason.
Yeah, he date white women on purpose. So he a different breed. We can't even
I've heard that before.
we can't talk about him.
But
I've
also
heard that
too,
before.
you got some. This is what I don't like. I don't like when people date interracially, but dog the heck out of their own race when they date interracially.
mm,
That
Mm.
pisses me off to the core. I'm
yeah,
like, you
I
got
agree with that.
nerve.
I
But at
And
agree
the
with
end of
that.
the day, you still black, bruh. So whether you dating white, Spanish, whatever, you're still black. So you can't be saying, I'm only gonna date Becky and then talk about your own race. Like that's you know, yeah. I see that a lot too, especially in my field. In
yeah,
my field
God
of work,
bless
I
the
see that a lot
King.
Well,
too.
the
That's what
thing
happened.
is, I mean, like, me personally, I love my black women, and I love variety of women, shape, sizes. So but at the end of the day, like I said, all my experiences, majority, overwhelmingly majority of them have been black experiences. And why? Because that's my mother's, that's my aunts, so that's what I'm already accustomed to being with and accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? Like ended up with at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what my love and my passion is at. So it's just like you know, the older I get though, as far as being like on the pro black and consciousness tip, I just feel like it's so murky out here with the younger people that I kind of like find myself falling back and withholding the wisdom that I got to depart with them because everybody got Google University or YouTube podcast University.
Google University.
So, it's nothing to be said, really. There's nothing to be taught,
I was gonna ask Dell
So,
that. Dell, with you being an educator, do you see these kind of conversations going on between the kids nowadays? Because, like, for instance, my kids, they only date my daughter. She only likes white boys, and I have there's no problem with that. I don't discriminate. I didn't raise them to discriminate, but that's all she does not like. She does not like black boys. Now, one or two, but majority her preference is white. So do you see that in the schools, Dell? Are kids having these kind of conversations of, well, you black, why you dating a white girl? Or you white, why you dating a black guy? Or are you seeing that in the younger generation, in our kids' generations? Are you
Nope.
seeing these kind of conversations taking place?
Nope. They
Interesting.
just they just dating who they dating. There is no I'm only dating this and I'm only dating that. These kids are finding someone who they like, and if that person likes them back, then is all for it. I've been listening to y'all talk all night, and I guess I'm on the other side of the fence when it comes to this because I feel like you can be pro black and still love who you love. That's just what it is. If somebody doesn't like that, then that's them. But whatever's going on in your house, and if it's complete harmony, if it's bliss, if everybody's happy, then what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? If you can you can root for everybody black, and the person you dating can root for everybody black. Your political views and all that stuff could be aligned. Your whatever views could be aligned as a unit. And if that's the way it is for that household, then why not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't believe there's rules and regulations that say that you must do this. You know, you can root for whoever you want to, but at the same time, if everything in that house is aligned, then what's the problem? That's just my opinion.
And we respect that. No, nobody's. I think everybody's in input, and we have a couple comments where the young lady, I'm assuming Miss Price. I don't want to mess up your first name. She said I guess when we're talking about children and having interracial children, she said it's diluting our culture bloodline, but in the same sense, virtually nobody in the world is 100% pure anything. And that's what was mentioned earlier. Like, not who's pure, like who is pure black, who's pure white at this, especially in America, unless you're from Africa or unless you're from Europe, and even then, who is pure black, who is pure white? Do we even have pure African Americans here? Well, we're in the United States, so we're going to talk about United States. How do we know that even though Ro has darker skin, that she don't have a white granddad, or a white auntie? We don't know. We don't know.
I do.
And
My
I
great
believe,
grandma was that. She was white.
yeah, and I believe that. So, back to what Chris is doing his laundry.
Look.
We're just one God, just like he said earlier. How can we talk about it? And that's my other question, because he said it a couple times as far as being pro-black and woke. Are they the same thing? I feel like that's another conversation. Is being pro-black and woke the same thing? Is being pro-black and whatever the same thing? But at the end of the day, how many of us, Chris, I'm actually doing Ancestry.com right now. How many of us can really say I'm all Caucasian, or I'm all African, or I'm all Mexican, or I'm all whatever? How many people can actually say, if they go back into their heritage, that there's no other culture? How many people?
No, I'm just joking.
I was going to say, to be
No,
honest,
literally, none of us.
We're a whole we're supreme pizza out here. We got a little bit of everything, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Indian, a little bit of pepperoni, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're a whole melting pot of cultural differences that we are unaware of. So if we go back and do these type of tests, we'll probably be shocked on who we represent or who we are.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting too, is someone else commented that she said that these kids do not care. Currently, she said, my daughter's current crush is Pakistani. So I think it's true that as in the generation of my kids are 16. Tiffany, how old are your kids?
Sorry. My son is 21 and my daughter will be 20.
Okay, so you have your kids about the same generation, and then Ro, I know you have teenage kids and you have kids in your 20s. Like, we're talking about, I'm in my 40s. I know Ro's in 40s, Tiffany 30s, Dell 30s. So we're
Girl, I wish I was in my 30s. Thank you.
You are still in your 30s, Tiffany?
No. I'm in my 40s.
Oh, okay. So is it generational too? Like, are we the only ones that care about, are you pro-black and still in relationships? Is that off the table now with the younger generation? Because
I think we raised our kids in a different generation. Like, our parents will more so be cautious of interracial dating, because you never know this person, something might happen to you, because they were still living in that era of being scared. Whereas we raised our children to not see color as much. We don't teach them that color doesn't exist. We just teach them that it doesn't exist as much. So with that being said, like, you would have never, my friends, I had different friends of different races because of how I was raised, and plus of the neighborhood I grew up in. But when I went to my mother's house, it was more so like black people. I didn't really deal with white people or different other cultures or different ethnicities or any of that. So I just think that I raised my kids, and I didn't want that culture shock, as Tiffany said, when she moved down here. So I would always embrace different people. I always taught my kids to learn at least a greeting in a different language, just in case you somewhere might need it. So they'll, you know what I'm saying? It seems more friendly if somebody knows something about you, as opposed to you just walking around looking at them stupid. But yeah, I think we just raise our kids for a different type of generation, not to see color and people's races as much as we did. We were taught that.
And then, I mean, just to add on to that, you got to think, like, now, the access of different cultures coming to the country, like flooding the country. and being in intermingling in the schools and different things like that. So of course the kids are going to be like it's different people accessible. Like my man D said, he was like, you know, the kids they're gonna like who they like. That's what's gonna happen. You know, at the end of the day, it don't matter what culture they coming from. So um, you know, it's just a natural phenomenon, and it's the same thing pretty much that's happening in the adult community as well. It's just like Instagram, the social medias, the TikToks or whatever is introducing so many different variety of women and cultures to people eyesight that like say like you are in some of these smaller towns and you only see like certain cultures and you don't even see like East Indian, you don't even see like Asians out there or something. But you know, we in Charlotte, so you know we seeing a lot of variety things. I grew
Mm-hmm.
up in the Seven Cities, Newport News, Virginia. So I'm from where all four branches of the military are at. So I grew up seeing everything. You know what I'm saying? I was exposed to every culture. So you know, a lot of people don't have that though, or have that, you know, luxury to be exposed to those different people. So you know, it's just like now, fast forward, you got all these social medias and all these different things that's out here. So yeah, naturally, people gonna want to explore differently. It look good. The thought of it seemed good. You know what I mean? So you know, not that the grass is greener on the other side. What I find out a lot of dudes end up saying like, oh, them the white women real similar to she fussing just like the sister. Oh, she going off. She doing the same shit that you know that my you know. So that's what we're hearing. We're hearing you know the women in the different cultures that people perceive were so docile or perceive were so like you know fluid or whatever. Nah, you know it's just the nature of a woman or the nature of a man, and that's just ultimately what it is. I mean, the more we get to the you know the pro black thing is that we got to realize like my man he left out early my man that's the MC um but he was saying that like how he said pretty much Hispanics, do we really say that they are not black or because they were in South America or you know depending on how the country split or whatever during European war times and stuff like that. So it's because in my mind I feel like for us that's like indigenous to this land or been here surpassing like some of the slavery times or whatever the case may be, because all of us didn't come from that. You know, a great ordeal we did, but all of us didn't even come from that. We've been here, or maybe the first wave of Africa that was, you know, we came over, however, sailing ourselves or whatever, exploring ourselves. But with us that been here, what's the difference between us and the natives that's in like California or the indigenous that's in Arizona because their skin type is different because of the region or some other you know factors or whatever the case. So it's just like I always look at that like when we on this black and browns thing, you know, I'm never really big into that because I always look at them, and even if they talking shit or we talking shit about them, then I would just be like, you know, me especially like dealing with the Hispanic community, I always be like, just what's up, cousin? That's how I tell them, what's up, cousin? Like y'all can say everything y'all want, call us Tyrone, we can call them whatever, Jose, whatever, Jesus, whatever, Jesus, whatever, you know. But at the end of the day, like my man said, it's so relatable that only really the only thing that's really making us even have this conversation is how we grew up in America. And now the world is becoming indoctrinated into our education and how we think on race now. Whereas before you could travel and it was known that you can go travel, ain't nobody even thinking about your race. They ain't looking twice because you black. You know what I'm saying? Or you some different other culture or whatever. They didn't care. They were just embracing you with the love. But now in the last 20 years or decade or so, or whatever, it's got terrible. So, you know, the world is all on this race, classism, you know, all those type things now.
And
So
then
it's just interesting to me.
Yeah, I
and
have somebody else on here, Coco, who was saying that when she talks to her children, she wants them to date black, and she wants them to only date black. And so I've invited her to join us. We're doing an episode about do Black and white parents teach their children differently about relationships? So I've invited her to be on that episode with us because this is real factors. With me, I don't teach my children that they should only date Black or they should only wait white. I teach my children to date people that are going to love and respect them. Period. Whereas you might have parents who are raising their children to only date Black or only date white, and that's
I'm guilty.
we're still doing that.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I mean, I don't tell my kids that like demand them to force date Black or anything, but I heavily suggest that to stay within the race,
So even
stay
though your
within the
children are
culture.
mixed with Spanish and you said West Indian, you're trying to impress upon
Yeah, I
them to
mean,
only date
my daughters are Black. They Black. I mean, at the end of the day, you wouldn't know unless I just told you,
Black.
But they are second generation West Indian over here.
Okay.
Um, so that's the interesting thing about like my makeup. Like my sons, they're light skinned. Myself, I'm brown skinned. Their mother, my daughter's mother anyway, which she's darker than me, but one of my daughters are darker than both of us. My youngest daughter, she's about to be 15 this year, and my oldest daughter is 20, and she's lighter than you. So it's just like, but then she's also lighter than both of my sons. That's mixed. So it's just like it's interesting. Like we
Yeah.
come from so diverse, DNA and within our culture that I'm wanting to argue that like like even with yourself being light skinned and stuff like that, like we like to think like everything originated from the darkest seeds of the dark, which it did. But however, I feel like for eons as well, like we'd have been out here like 32 flavors, like Baskin Robbins for real the whole time.
Mm,
So, I mean, all the way down to like now we rediscovering that or recertifying that blonde eyes and blonde hair and blue eyes came from our culture. You know what I'm saying? Which the whole time we was thinking opposite. So you
right.
know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot of things coming to the light right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was sleeping with the mailman. My daughter came, see how dark I am. My
What?
daughter came out with literally like violet eyes, and she's like this color on the back of my hand. So yeah, they said for the longest time I was sleeping with the mailman because I didn't know where it came from. I
Right.
got light eyes, but they not that light.
There's so much
Not that.
diversity in being African American or being Black. There's just so much diversity in colors and shades and all of that. Uh, Tiffany, your children are mixed with Spanish, right?
Yes, they are half Dominican.
Dominican. Okay. So do your children go through the whole the thing of dating? Do they have preferences of only dating Dominican or only dating white or only dating certain
My
people?
Yeah, my daughter prefers outside of white. I never really asked her why.
Mhm.
I just trust her judgment, and like you, as long as the person is respectful and takes care of her emotionally and all of that stuff. Hey, you like it, I love it.
Right.
But as far as my son, same thing. I let him just, and I feel like I've been really blessed with my upbringing because I was never reared to be like, you can't do this, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I had a lot of free will, and because where I was raised around a bunch of cultures and a lot of diversity, that's why I'm so in love with culture now as an adult, because I find it so fascinating to learn new things about new people all the time.
Yeah.
And if it's music or it's food or it's like a cultural thing like that my friends' families do and they include me in it, it makes me feel like, wow, this is what like family is really about, because I never really got that with my own.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So
Do y'all think, and we're gonna start wrapping it up, do y'all think, and I'll let Ro you answer this, do y'all think that we're getting to a generation where it's not gonna be so much pro-black anymore? Do you think that we're moving in a direction of more cultural diversity versus pro-black, pro-white? Do y'all think that we're moving away from that because our children are more accepting of other races?
yeah, I
I
do.
do. I do.
I think that's a two-parted question because I think we're going to be more multicultural, people be interracial at the same time. You can still go back or whatever, as long as, like we talked about earlier, how kids are dating whoever love, whoever accept them, whoever makes them feel good. So as long as that is of it, like the world is definitely going to be more great, and you're going to have kids of their culture. So it's, it, it's two-parted when it comes to that type of question. Both can coexist.
Agree.
I
Ro,
would
how
like
do
to
you
think.
Ro,
I was.
being that this was your subject and you go back to your group that was talking about this, how do you think what is, are you going to feel differently about when we first came in? Or do you still stand on pro-black does not include interracial relations?
I still feel like interracial dating does not fit pro blackness. It doesn't. It's just like you're just supporting the cause. Thank you for it. I appreciate that. But and this will always stay in the back of my mind. Like I don't care how much you love this person. Like if shit came and hit the fan, would they really have your back at the end of the day, or would they go back to they people and say, fuck that, it got too hot over there, I gotta come over here. Like you really gotta know your person. You really, 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 really gotta. And I'm not saying that shouldn't be like that in every relationship, whether it's interracial or whatever. But that's a different type of, them people come knocking at your door and say, we taking all the black people out your house. Is you gonna fight for me? Or are you just gonna let the motherfuckers take me?
Yeah, I've talked to my children about that. My son was dating a young lady who was white, and her grandmother is racist, and she's made racist comments. And I've talked to my son and my daughter and said, at the end of the day, I don't care who you date as long as they love and respect you. However,
Right.
if you're put in a situation of black and white with that person, are they still going to have your back?
Mm.
Are they going to claim their whiteness and
And
you're black?
everybody
Are they
said,
going to
yes, I
protect
will
you?
have your back to
Uh,
the end. I love you, baby. We're going to be together. Don't you ever worry about that, okay? Don't ever worry about that.
well, due to history and with these athletes and stuff, we look at Tiger Woods. We look at
All
what's your boy that's married to Sierra right now, Russell.
of
Yeah, it was.
He's
They thought that it was magical. They thought that they was gonna have their back, but when it went down, then you know.
Right.
So
also,
at the
you
end
got
of
to
the
keep in
day,
mind his girl had you know I forgot his name. That was an interesting relationship too, because a lot of that stuff did happen today. For example, Marley, he was a mix. Daddy didn't want to come because he was like he was black pretty much. He came out black, so you got to be mindful of that. Another can of worms.
All right, Ro, you want to sum it up for us?
Well, at the end of the day, here's your Jerry thought for the day. Okay, so you can't help who you love at the end of the day. Whether you want to be, pro black, you want to be black, or I just want to support the cause or whatever. At the end of the day, you can't help who you love. So, with that being said, live life to have the fuck you want to live it to the fullest. And, make what happens for you and your people. Nothing else matters.
I agree. I don't know about y'all. I put y'all on mute because there was a back something going on, but I agree. Um,
Oh,
Next week we're going to be talking about interracial relationships. Are they still taboo? So we talked a little bit about it. It sounds like it might still be an issue for some people. So we're going to be talking next week, and Barry is going to be back with us next week on this topic, talking about interracial relationships. Are they still taboo? And it sounds like to me, just from this conversation, that it still is. So thank you everybody for joining us. Please join us next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as we talk about interracial. I cannot get the word out. Interracial relationships. We continue that conversation. And this is a conversation that we are going to have throughout the year. We have another topic about, do Black and white parents teach differently when it comes to relationships? That's another topic that we have on the books to talk about. So this was good, bro. I know that this is something that we talked about a couple months ago, and it's very interesting to see different people's feedback um, about this topic. And we've had a lot of comments about, I teach my children to only stay within their race, or I'm okay with my kids doing that, but they just need to understand I'm still Black at the end of the day. We've had a couple of those comments that came tonight. So thank you everybody for joining us. Please join us again next Monday at 8 p.m. as we welcome back Barry Scarborough, who this was his topic. This is what he wanted to talk about. Interracial relationships, are they still taboo? I don't know. It might still be. Y'all got to come back in next week and let's talk about it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How can we find everybody on social media? We're going to start with our guest. Del, tell everybody how they can find you on social media. We can't wait. We can't hear you. Hold on.
My fault.
Go ahead.
DJ SHOK 803. That's on IG, Twitter, IG, and my name Delvon DELVON on. Get at it.
Got it. DJ Shock 803 on IG, Delvon Harling on Facebook. Bro, tell everybody how to find you on social media.
Facebook, simply Ro P Hill. On IG is rophill.621. That's rophill.621.
Rope P Hill. Just one guy. Tell everybody how we can find you.
All right, and that will be on IG at Lenergetic. That's LENERGETIC. So energetic with an L in front of it. On Facebook, it's just by my regular name. It's Javon Jackson, JAVON Jackson. The one with me looking fly in a white shirt, because I do have a couple of pages, but the more active page.
And because he's single, ladies.
Oh,
single.
yeah. Oh, he's
Yeah.
single, ladies. He's single. Good point. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Ro.
We're gonna stay out of the DMs and all that, though. Yeah, but yeah, that's where y'all can find me at. Reach out anytime. I'll get back and do my best to get back to you, in contact with y'all.
Thank you. Tiffany, tell everybody how they can find you on social media.
Facebook is Tiffany Knowlton, KNOWLTON. Instagram is sweet_T_with_Tiffany. And I guess I'll throw my Snapchat out there. It's at Tiffin Key, which is TIFFNKEY. So that's it.
Thank you. Chris, so tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah, here we go. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
They can find me at Chriso on Instagram at you can find me on Instagram at Chriso_poetry. Again, that is CHRISO _live poetry. They can find me on Facebook, Christopher Blackman, BLACKON. Or if you're having to find my social media, just go to my website, chriso1.com. Again, that is CHRISO1.com.
Thank you. And conveniently, his last name is Blackman. Yes. Follow the private room on all platforms. The private room with TV. The private room WTV. Follow us on all platforms. Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight. See you next Monday at 8 p.m. as we talk about more about interrelation. Oh my God! I gotta get this word out. Interracial relationships, are they still taboo? Next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Come out tomorrow to Lux District from 6 to 9 p.m. We're gonna have our singles mixer. Myself, Ro P. Hill, will be there tomorrow night. So if you are single and you're looking to meet somebody, come on out to Lux District tomorrow, 4829 Brookshire Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina. See you tomorrow.
All right, thank y'all. Peace, peace.
All right,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.